viewers, welcome to my channel Pharmacypedia. In the previous session, we learned about the tablet coating part 1, in which we discussed about the various equipments which are used to perform the tablet coating process. Now, next we move ahead with the tablet coating part 2 process. In this session, we are going to discuss about the different types of the coating systems, what are the different formulation composition of the coating systems, what are the different excipients used for the preparation of the coating process. So let us begin. So let us first try to understand what are the different types of the tablet coating types. So they are basically divided into 6 types. The first is the sugar coated tablets. This is one of the most oldest method which actually started the process of the coating. So it is the sugar coated process. So as the name suggests, the tablets are coated by the sugar or sucrose. Then came the concept of the film coated tablets. So film coated tablets is totally different from the sugar coated tablets. The reason being that film coated tries to give a single film and which is very thin actually. When we talk about the sugar coated tablets gain almost about 30% of the weight. So you can understand it's a very thick layer and it's a very complicated process. On the other hand, the film coated tablets is very simple, utilizing different polymers to form a single film, and this the process has simplified a lot with the development of the film coated tablets. Then there are also like gelatin coated tablets, known as gel coated tablets. Then antaric coated tablets. You must be aware about the antaric coated tablets. So the tablets which are actually prepared to have the site of action at the intestine. So they have to bypass the gastric fluids. Then the compression coated tablets, as the name indicates, they are actually the layer is being created by coating over a formulated tablet. So you have a small tablet, you apply a layer over it so that it forms a coating over the initial tablet. Then other types of the tablets are tablet coating process utilizes other sophisticated advancements techniques like electrostatic coating or like dip coating and rotary die coating. So we're going to discuss mainly about the sugar coated tablets and film coated tablets and antaric coated tablets. The reason being they are the widely used coating for the tablets. So let us first begin with the sugar coating tablet coating process. So as I have told, this is the one of the oldest method used for the coating of the tablets. The process is little bit complicated and it's a lot of time consuming process. Moreover, it needs the expertise of the operator also like to perform the sugar coating process. So it basically comprises of the 5 stages. The first stages is known as the waterproofing and sealing stage. So as the term indicate, is sort of the sealing is being created. So whatever process is will be applied for the coating, it is not going to disturb the inner core. So this sealing coat is very essential because you are going to add a lot of weight over the tablet. So if this sealing coat is not formed properly, what will happen? The moisture will be gained by the inner core. So in that case, the coating will not be proper. So when this is the first primary stage whereby an effort has been made to form a sealing coat over the tablet which needs to be coated down. Then second is the subcoating. As the name indicate, you provide another layer, subcoating layer comprising of the various particles, coating particles. Then third is the syruping or smoothing. As the name indicate, you're trying to polish down the subcoating part. Then fourth is the finishing. This is actually the main coloring stage. Once your base has been formed, the base is very smooth, so you apply the color. So once the color is being applied on a very smooth surface, so it looks very elegant. On the other hand, if the subcoating is not being done, then that sort of smoothness will not be obtained. So once you apply color without subcoating technique, it will not be that much elegant. So have that shiny and elegance feel, you need to have subcoating. Then syruping is the smoothness, so that you get a very smooth surface. Then coloring phase, and after that coloring phase is followed by the last stage, that is the polishing stage, whereby you actually get the very beautiful kind of the coating. So this is about the waterproofing process. Different substances are being used. For example, shalaxine. So basically the purpose is to prevent the overwetting or softening which may happen once we apply the further coats of the sugar coating process. So subcoating is basically done to round the edges or build up a tablet size. So it is being followed by the syruping and finishing coat stage, whereby you do the smoothing part. Smoothing is very much required. Although when we apply subcoating and the syruping phase, lot of weight gets added up into the tablet. As I have told, sugar coating is the complicated process and it adds a lot of it. This is one of the main disadvantage for not using the sugar coating these days. That is why one of the advantage associated with the film coated tablet is that much of the weight is not being added upon. Moreover, the time frame of getting the coating is also reduced. Now after that comes the stage of the polishing. This is the last stage whereby you get the desired luster, which is obtained in the standard coating pan. So for that you need to apply the powdered carnauba or the beeswax to get that shine uh, in a suitable volatile solvent system. So next we move on to the film coating. One of the preparation method is the pan pour method. So it's not favored method for the film coating. Now there are certain disadvantages which may be associated with the film coating is that it may be slow due to the use of two viscous components to be sprayed upon. It also depends on the skill and the technique of operators to balance the steps. It also requires additional drying to remove the solvents. So it is not suitable for aqueous film coating due to overwetting that may cause problems range from surface erosion to product instability. One thing we have to keep in mind that when we go ahead for the process of tablet coating, it should not disturb our inner core. The tablet should not be overwetted. So the advantage associated with the film coating is that you are applying a thin layer of the coating on the tablet surface. So it should not actually disturb the inner core part or it should not affect the stability of your prepared tablet. So what are the different sorts of the film forming agents? They ranges from non-enteric film formers to enteric film formers. So as the term indicate enteric film formers, enteric film formers basically refers to those film forming substances which do not disintegrate or which are not broken down by the gastric fluid. So the goes move on to their site of action, that is intestine. Non-enteric film formers which actually disintegrates into the gastric fluid. So when we talk about the non-enteric film formers, we have an ample number of polymers to have this kind of the property. For example, HPMC, ethyl cellulose, methyl hydroxyethyl cellulose, hydroxypropyl cellulose, povidone, propylene glycol, and acrylate polymers. Try to memorize at least 3 to 4 examples when we prepare for your examinations. Then let us also try to understand the properties of an ideal enteric coated material. So when we talk specifically of the enteric coated material, it should be first of all resistance to the gastric fluid. It should break down in the intestinal fluid, gastric fluid, sorry, and then it should be susceptible or permeable to the intestinal fluid. So because the major site of action for the enteric coated material is the intestine, it should be compatible with most coating solutions, components, and the drug substrates. It should be stable. It should not get its property affected on aging. It should be able to form a continuous film which is non-toxic and at a low cost. It should have ease of application without specialized equipments. It should be able to readily print and allow films to be applied to the debused tablets. When we talk about the enteric film formers, there are a number of polymers utilized for having this enteric coating, ranging from very important cap, that is cellulose acetate phthalates. Then apart from that, acrylate polymers like hydroxypropyl methylcellulose phthalates or polyvinyl acetate phthalates. So whenever the word comes phthalate, you should quickly keep in your mind that it is referring to the enteric polymer film formers. Okay, phthalates. Then let us try to understand the coating composition. Coating, when we talk about the composition, it is not only made of the colorants. Yes, colorants are the very integral part of any coating formulation, but apart from that, it also contains the desired solvents, which are actually volatile in nature, that will be removed upon after in the due course of time. And then apart from that, solvent, colorants, and plasticizers, they form certain elasticity, they form the plastic characters, so that you get a very fine smooth finish. Apart from that, opacant extenders, again they are the colors. So these are the basic parts of your film coating: pigments, polymers, plasticizers. So when we talk about the solvents, nowadays a lot of solvents are there whereby you can disperse the polymers and other additives into that. But they should have all the ideal requirements of the solvents, like they should either dissolve or disperse the polymer system. They should have no environmental impacts. They should be easily dispersible. They should have a rapid drying rate. Also, the solvent should be colorless, tasteless, odorless, non-flammable. The classic examples are water, ethanol, methanol, isopropanol, chloroform. Try to memorize at least 4 to 5 examples. Then we move on to the plasticizers. Now, as I have discussed, the plasticizers are basically used to modify the quality of the film. So they have the plasticizing techniques, which involves internal plasticizers and external plasticizers. So when we talk about the internal plasticizers, it involves chemical modification of the basic polymers that alters the physical properties of the polymers. Apart from that, chemical plasticizers, they are actually the additives of the coating solution to achieve the desired effect of the film. So basically, when we add the plasticizer, we are expecting that the film will be having more flexibility, it would have a more tensile strength and more adhesive properties. So the level of plasticizer ranges from 1 to 50%. The examples of plasticizers range from natural substances like castor oil, propylene glycol, glycerin surfactants, and then ranging to the synthetic ones like polysorbates, sorbitan esters, organic acid esters. Then we move on to the colorants. They are the prime part of the coating colors, because the primary purpose of adding the colorants is to have to develop a distinct color and elegance to our tablets. So the very fine powdered colorants are actually preferred, and we actually keep on getting the colors in different shades, in different design types, in different concentration. So one has to be particular in the selection of these colorants. So colorants may range from various brands are there, which are giving high quality pigments, the inorganic materials, and also the natural colorants, which ranges from iron oxides, caramels, carotenoids, chlorophyll, indigo, flavons, turmeric, and even carbonic acid. So they have been categorized by different. There are color manufacturing companies like Opalex, which refers to the opacant color concentrate exclusively for the sugar coating, and Opa spray for the film coating, then Opa dry, which is a complete film coating concentrate. So opacant extenders are actually referred to as a very fine inorganic powders, which are used in the coating solution formulations to provide the more pastel colors and increase film coverage. So they provide white coating or mask the color of the tablet core. The classic examples of opacant extenders ranges from titanium dioxide, silicates, carbonates, sulfates like calcium sulfate, etc. So again, I'm requesting all of you to please memorize at least 4 to 5 examples into each categories. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked my video, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia. Also, please provide your views in the comment box. Thank you so much.